Well, good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast, where we come to you Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, talks about people, places, trends, events that shape the city of Las Vegas. Oh, I'm looking really kind of disheveled there. I had my shirt unbuttoned here. All that puffy hair that comes out of my top of my shirt. No. So, want to welcome you guys all to the show today. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and I hope you all had a fantastic time, fantastic holiday. I know we did. We got to. This is the first Thanksgiving in quite a while where I've not cooked. No. Yeah, usually my wife and I kind of double team it. This time she did the entire thing by herself. I mean, I made some gravy and I made the dressing, but that's really enough. I got to watch the whole time and watch football all day long. So I hope, and then at the evening, we'll talk more about it later, but then the grandson came over a little later. It was kind of fun. So we'll talk about it. So hopefully you and yours had a great time. I want to welcome all of our friends who are joining us on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. And thank you for being a part of the show today. If you are on any of our Facebook channels, please just check us out. Say hello. I can actually see your texts. And so go ahead and say hello, and would love to say hello back to you. Give you a shout out. And if you ate something, here's my question of the day. If you ate something just completely unusual for Thanksgiving, like maybe you ate an armadillo. Yeah, something like that. It doesn't have to be necessarily an armadillo, which that would be kind of interesting though. But definitely let us know, and we'd love to give a shout out about that and talk about what you ate for your Thanksgiving holiday. Also, if you have a Thanksgiving tradition, maybe that's something you did. And this is my new way of covering up my yawning there, folks. If you had a tradition that you continued on during the yesterday, let us know about that. We'd love to know about some cool traditions that you might have. Because we're going to talk a little bit about traditions, some things that are going on. And now it's Black Friday. So I know a lot of my listeners are out there already busily shopping and spending all your money, out there. So I'm hopefully you're thinking about moi. Sorry, I know. I wear a size 46 jacket, 46 stout. Wear the 46 jacket, and my neck size is a 17. No, it's smaller down now. I've lost a little weight. Some of you, I've had people actually say something to me. They said, "Sherman, you look like you've lost weight." I have lost a little bit of weight, a little bit of muscle mass. Not much. Still have the gun show here. I know. But I know I'm being silly this morning. So thank you all for being a part of the show. Hopefully you had a great time. Also, if you are you're watching us on YouTube, just kind of smash a little button over there. Just smash that little button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Would love to have you along for the ride. It'll be great to have you there. A lot of changes coming up, folks, especially in the next couple of weeks. And so we're not going to leave you in the dark on that. We want to make sure everybody knows that we're going to have some changes. We're launching. We're not launching anything new. We're actually doing a name change of one of the stations that we have for the company, and I'm really excited about it. We finally, got some ideas formulated and down packed, so it'll be cool. So it should be fun. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a really quick break, folks. We're going to be back. We're going to talk about some of the things that are coming up this weekend. I know it's been a short week work-wise, but things... everything's just kind of mixed up. So it is Friday, though. Okay, so we'll be back in just a minute, folks. We'll talk a little bit about some things that are going to happen this weekend. It's very exciting, and it has to do with something I am wearing right here on my wrist. Okay, Sherman Ray, this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We'll be back in a second. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. It's Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. So let's talk a little bit about some traditions. We were talking about this before. If you are watching the show right now, you've got a tradition in your family, or you ate something unusual during the Thanksgiving holiday, definitely put it in the comment section below us here. Love to hear about it. We'd love to comment about it also. And tell people how weird you are and how weird your family is. Okay. If you ate an armadillo, maybe an aardvark or something like that. I know the people out at Red Rock, so many of you have probably been out to Red Rock Canyon, and if you've not been out to Red Rock Canyon, folks, you're really missing something. Also, oh gosh, I didn't put the picture up. I'm gonna show you a picture anyways. So many of you know I go out riding pretty much every morning. And that's why I've lost so much weight, folks, because I've been riding an awful lot lately, and I've been riding a lot further on my bike rides. So one of the pictures I took, though, let's see if I can find it. Pow, 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 pow. So one of the pictures I took, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see it, so it's not worth showing to you. Is of the way north. So the way north part of the valley, specifically Durango, past Farm Road, past all that stuff. Okay, it's way out. If you go on Durango and you just keep going out Durango, and when it ends, that's where I ride to a couple times a week. It's about 15 miles away from my house, and so it gives me a nice ride uphill. It's a steady kind of climb uphill, and then you're at the end of the valley, and you get to see north. I'm going the other way. So north is this way, where I'm at, and you get to actually see the mountain range that is on the northern end of the valley, right before you get to the Indian Reservation, that area, or the Air Force Airway that the flight range that they have. And so you take a picture of that, a panoramic picture of it, it's incredible, especially in the morning time. And so that's one of the areas I go to. Also, Red Rock Canyon is another area that you should get to, folks. If you've not gone out to Red Rock Canyon, as I was beginning to say earlier, you're missing something. I personally, as a kid, never went to Red Rock Canyon. And I mean, I've lived in Vegas since the early 60s. And so, I don't living in Las Vegas, and what we talk about this on this show a lot, is to get you to understand there's a lot going on here in the Valley. And Red Rock Canyon is probably one of the most underrated, well-known, little-known recreational areas in our state. The reason why I say that is most people in Las Vegas never go out there, and will probably never go out there unless they watch a show like ours that tells you go out there and go to Red Rock Canyon. So here, let's show that little thing here we got. Okay, let's see if we can put this up there. Okay, so this is Red Rock Canyon, and there's kind of like this little this kind of loop thing right here tells you can see that this is Red Rock Canyon. And Red Rock Canyon has become, for some people, a Thanksgiving tradition. And there are people who go out to Red Rock Canyon. They come from all over the world to come out and check. I gotta move this way some more. And to go over and check out the rock formations. They go out climbing. They go out hiking. If you go up to the Loop area, which is basically, so if you want to go to Red Rock Canyon, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go to Charleston and head west. And just keep going. You will get to Red Rock Canyon. You can't help to. You'll run right into it. You'll see a big sign that says Red Rock Recreational Area, and on the right-hand side of the road, you will see what I'm saying, Red Rock Canyon? You'll see this mountain range, and it kind of goes back, and you can actually go all the way around it, and it'll loop you back into Las Vegas. It's about 13, 17 miles, a big loop. Very cool. Within the Red Rock recreational area, there is hiking. There's all kinds of rock climbing. You can ride. When I go out there, I go bike riding. So see that road right there? And you can ride for 17, 18 miles up to Blue Diamond. And so people have been taking the Red Rock Canyon, I don't know, what would you call it? Tradition. They've made a tradition of going after for Thanksgiving. So we thought we would show you this kind of picture, so it's very cool. Love Red Rock Canyon, I really do. It's just a fun place to go out to. What else? What else has been going on? Oh, also, I just want to remind you, if you are watching the podcast right now and that is something you've done, I mean, what kind of traditions do you have? If you've got a tradition that you actually, you and your family do every Thanksgiving, we'd love to hear about it. We really would. It would be just very cool to hear what tradition you actually have during Thanksgiving. Also, there was a story, and let's do it right now because I don't want to run out of time for this. UNLV this weekend. And I want to first show you something very cool. Many of you know I went to UNLV very briefly, but even if you go briefly, you're alumni. So I went there as a freshman. I was actually a cheerleader for UNLV. Was there during the Jerry Tarkanian days, that kind of stuff. Danny Tarkanian, all those guys. So my grandson, look what he gave me. Can you see that, guys? Oh, I know. Whoa! It's a UNLV rubber thing. I'll never take this off. So this is cool. My grandson's got one. I've got one. We'll never take it off. It's our bond now. It's what makes us us now. And you can get one of these too. I think you can actually get this at UNLV. I think at some sporting events they'll put this out. But right now, all you have to do is you can just watch mine. You can see mine right now. Okay, so very cool. UNLV going to be ending their season this year, football season, playing against Reno. And we'll be playing for, that's right, the Fremont Cannon. That's it, the Fremont Cannon tomorrow. Okay? Tomorrow they're going to be playing over, I think they're playing in Allegiant Stadium. Yep, playing in Allegiant Stadium. 61,000 seats, people rocking the world. We'll actually put this link on our website at livinginvegas.com, and you can see if you can get tickets to go to the game. So it should be cool. So many of you know we battled for the Fremont Cannon. It goes back and forth. And what happens is people paint the cannon. So sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's red, or silver and gray, or silver and scarlet and gray. And so we want it coming back here, folks. We want to beat the Wolfpack in the worst way. The Wolfpack, so for those of you, and just as a little bit of an aside of history, UNLV, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, is actually an extension of UNR. Okay, does that make sense? UNR, which is a little bitty town up north, the University of Nevada, Reno, is the main college for Las Vegas, the state of Nevada. UNLV is an extension of that. So they're like our big brother, even though we're the bad boys. We're here in Vegas. So there's a rivalry. There's a rivalry between UNR and UNLV. And so that's why many of you think, oh, why do kids keep going to college up in UNR? Well, because they're our big brother. They are the main school for the state. Even though 80% of the people live down here in Clark County, in the and specifically to the Las Vegas area. We are still an extension. We still have to ask their permission to do everything, which kind of sucks. And they generally get, first dibs on anything cool. But things will change. Things are going to change, I have a feeling. So that's why when we play football against UNR, there's like a big rivalry. Because a lot of our kids who went to school down here, they went to Gorman, they went to Valley, or they went to Las Vegas High School. They go up to Reno to go to college, then they come back down here. And then they stuff their little noses up about how they went to UNR. Who cares? UNR. So, okay, let's move on to some other things. Because, here, I'm gonna do this. If I do this, will it look like I'm being really obvious? I'll just do this a lot. So that you'll see my UNLV wristband. I know, because I love it. I love it. And my grandson knew I would love it when he gave it to me. So thank you, Jaden. Thank you so much. He just turned 19. I know. Okay. Let's talk about. Do we have time? Yeah, we got time. I just want to measure my time here. There's a new restaurant that just opened up, and this is a very cool story. There was a guy who was a security guard down off the strip. His name is Craig Dodson, and many of you probably saw this story already, but I'm gonna this is a very cool story. So Craig Dodson was a security guard down at the Paris. About 8 years ago, there was a guy, so he worked for, I guess, the RTC, the Regional Transportation Commission. So it means CAT bus. And so he worked for a company, a security guard for a company called Allied Universal. And there was some guy got on the bus, and the guy, his name is Christopher, was that Boudinot? He basically became an unruly passenger on the bus. So Craig Dodson, the guy who's the point of the story, said, "Hey, can you get off the bus?" The guy goes, "No." They get in an altercation. The other guy pulls out a gun, shoots Craig like 8 times. And from the wounds he had, needless to say, this guy was arrested. So from the wounds he had, he could not go back to being a security guard. Fast forward now 8 years later, his wife had convinced him into opening up a food truck, pursuing his other passion in life, which was cooking, which he doesn't have to do walking around. So the guy just opened up a restaurant. Pretty cool, huh? And so we want to give him a shout out. So what's the name of your restaurant there, Craig? Because this is actually a very cool story. I love it. I just had the name of it. So he first opened up a food truck, and now the name of his restaurant is called Getting Baked. Getting Baked. So what do you think he sells? Potatoes. I know, stuffed potatoes. He said it's just like 2 pieces of bread. Okay, and I'm a chef, so I know this stuff. It's like 2 pieces of bread. He says he's got everything in it. I think he said he had about 150 different variations that he can put in his gourmet potatoes. Can't wait to go see this. His place is building at Sunset or Sundance Kid Cafe on West Craig Road in North Las Vegas. So I can't wait to go out there to check that out. Once again, it's called Getting Baked. Okay, so we wanted to give him a shout out because the guy got shot. I mean, he got shot, and there's really, you feel bad for guys like that. You just don't need to have guys getting shot just because they're doing their job. So congratulations, Craig, for being a part of that. Before we get to another story, let's do this. Let's take another break, folks. We're going to take one more break. It'll be our last break of the day, and we'll be back with a little bit more. And we're going to talk about the Clark County School District, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the elections and something that happened as a result of the elections that you need to be aware of that's going to happen in about 2 more years. Okay? We'll be back in a second. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right, we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. All right, and this next story, folks, is I want to welcome you all back, especially if you're watching us on Facebook, you're watching us maybe on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel, folks. Like our page. Do all that kind of stuff. Encourage a brother that you really appreciate what we're doing here. So this story is about the Clark County School District. Okay, so we have a love and hate relationship with the Clark County School District. A story that we did talk. I don't know if we even got to it. If we did, I'll remind you about it. The governor is actually going to expand school choice. in the state, which means charter schools. This might be your opportunity to start a charter school or to expand the charter school system, because a lot of parents just don't like their kids being in the Clark County School District. So there was a kid. His mom is suing the Clark County School District after her child was attacked on a school bus. And this is kind of a terrible story because it shouldn't happen. He's an 11-year-old kid. The kid's name is, and they just give his name as AJ. And AJ was attacked on the bus by another student and sexually harassed. Okay, sexually harassed, sexually assaulted, physically and emotionally abused in August of 2021. And basically what happened is some kid choked him, grabbed his butt, that kind of stuff, and was just being a little school-age butthead. And I know, I can say that. Yeah, I can say butthead. I can. So, said the kid's name who did the sexual harassment, his name is IT. They won't name the kid. He's a little kid. He basically said, hey, you know what? You know how kids are. They'll say something, but it's sexual harassment. You can't just do that. 11-year-old kids, too. And AJ just took this stuff. His mom said, look, my kid was pummeled. He was hit in the face. He was done all this other stuff, and that nobody came to help the kid. So the mom's going to sue the school district big time. And really, they've got to get a hold of this. Sometimes, I think what happens, especially when you were a kid, you were bullied. I know I had a guy who used to try to bully me all the time. I'm not bragging here, folks. I was a pretty good fighter. My dad was a boxer, so I learned how to box really early in life. And so people would still try me. And the thing about it is I was an entertainer. So I was an entertainer. I was not the most macho guy in school, but I wasn't girly, but I was not the macho. I wasn't going around going, I'm the macho guy. I was an entertainer. I didn't want to mess with anybody. But people felt like they should mess with me. So there was a couple of people throughout school that would try to bully me. They would try to fight with me. I would beat them up because they didn't realize that I could actually fight. I know. So I guess there's a lesson to this story. Learn how to fight. Don't pick a fight. And when you do, just beat somebody up. And then they'll leave you alone. Well, in this case, this poor kid, AJ, he was getting beat up by this one kid named IT. They don't name the kid's name. And now this school bullying thing is going to cost us, the taxpayers, a lot of money. Which kind of sucks. I know the story had something to do with something else we were going to talk about. No, it doesn't. Okay, so let's move on to another story because we only have a couple more minutes left. Many of you know that during the election cycle, we all had ballot questions that we had to answer. Question 1, question 2, and question 3. I believe question 3 was... Yes, question number 3 was the ranked choice voting initiative that was trying to be passed through. And they want to change our state constitution to implement this thought or this bill. So let's explain the ranked choice voting very quickly. Ranked choice voting is basically an attempt by... Right now, there are basically 3 political parties in our state. There's Republicans, Democrats, and Independents, okay? Because of our voting system, the only people who can vote during the primaries, okay, which happen generally February, that kind of stuff, are Republican, Democrat, because they're the 2 major parties. Independents, even though they are a party, do not have enough people, and they're not official enough to rank as a third party on our ballots. So the only people who can vote in the primaries are Republican and Democrat. The ranked choice voting would allow for the first 2, so for anybody to vote during the primaries. So they say, hey, look, doesn't matter who you are, and anybody can vote during the primaries as it is, but you can't vote as an independent. Okay, you have to vote as a Republican or Democrat. So ranked choice voting would eliminate all that stuff. And it wouldn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat or independent. The first 2 people, the first top 2 vote getters would go on to the general election. Okay, because right now it's general Republican or Democrat who go on to the general election. That's kind of the way it is. Well, so that's what ranked choice voting would do. Right now, that ballot question was put on this last midterm election, whether or not we should change our Constitution to allow for this. And by a narrow margin, it passed. So it doesn't mean it'll go through and be effective, because the only way you can change our state constitution is you have to vote on a ballot change, or a change to the Constitution has to pass twice in successive elections. Okay, does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense to you, okay? So it doesn't just pass because you voted on it once. You actually have to vote on it again in 2024. If it passes a second time, then you can change or amend our Constitution, and this ballot initiative will become law. Okay, does that make sense? So the problem with this, folks, is that let's say that the two top vote getters are Democrats, or the two top vote getters are Republicans. Okay. What you do is you basically lock out the other political party from running against you, and giving people, both parties or three parties, an opportunity to get their guy in. And that's the problem. Only 2 states right now currently have ranked choice voting: Alaska and I think Mississippi or something like that. Alaska says it's terrible. They just don't like it at all, because basically it will lock in that party in perpetuity. So if you have more Democrats in your state, folks, you're going to always have a Democrat as your representative, or somebody who's representing your people. And so this could be a problem. So in the next few months, you're going to see a lot more people talking about ranked choice voting and how this is not a good thing. And I would agree with them. I don't think you should do this at all. Okay, is that it? No, let's talk about one more thing. The Vegas Golden Knights. Let's talk about them really quick. That'll be our last story for the week, okay? And I hope you're out there if you haven't gotten out there shopping yet, folks, you're probably a little late. So I'll do this really quick. You can get out there and go shopping. Vegas Golden Knights. They're going to welcome their reverse retro uniforms with special effects and a watch party for tomorrow. So they've never worn these jerseys that they have. They're reverse, and they also glow in the dark, something like that. So they glow in the dark. So you'll be able to check this out. T-Mobile Arena tomorrow. We'll actually leave a link to this on our website at livininvegas.com. You can check it out. Okay, so it should be cool. They actually have a picture of Stoney, and he's wearing it. Very cool looking. Mark Stone, I think they probably should wear a white jersey, because that's just all black. And looks mean, though. Looks real mean. And should be really cool. Anyways, folks, I hope you've enjoyed the show today. We'll be back again Monday, where we'll talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. I'm so excited about what's going to go on Monday, because, well, like I said, we've got an announcement to make. There's going to be some changes, some major wholesale changes for the podcast. I hope you will join us Monday, 8:30, for the Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray. We'll see you again, folks, where we'll talk about the people, the places, the trends, and events that shape the city of Las Vegas. And when you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local and the return of cool. We'll see you again, folks. Bye-bye.